this video I'm going to talk about the reverse bay parking exercise. I'm going to show you a relatively simple technique using the side mirrors. I'm also going to show you a couple of ways if it goes a little bit wrong, or you've got a little bit of an angle or you're a bit close to one of the two lines. I'll show you a couple of ways of how to realign and readjust the manoeuvre, which you are fully okay to do on the UK driving test. Okay, so if you have a look, I'm going to pick the bay that's just before the tree with the little diamond shaped curve on it. So I'm not going to do the bay that's directly behind that. I'm going to choose the bay that's just before it, where I've got just a white line at the back. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is get as close to that bay as I possibly can. So creeping it over, then bringing it back over to the right just to straighten it out, and then getting my steering wheel straight. Okay, right, now if I transfer the camera over to the left side, there's the bay. So I'm just going to keep going until it looks like the middle of that bay, if I just lift the camera up slightly, is around about central with me. So around about where my left shoulder is, which is about there. Okay, so this is how it should look. The actual bay you're using, the center of it, if you can see there, center of it is around about level with your shoulder. At this stage of the maneuver, you lower the left hand mirror like so. Okay, so what you can see there, you can see the front door handle in the middle of the mirror if you measure from top to bottom. What you can also do now is you can see how close to the actual bays I've got at the start. This is crucial to give you maximum space to do the routine and the maneuver itself. Then the right hand mirror, this is how we lower it. So much the same as the left hand side. So again, we've got the door handle, if you notice, in the middle between the top and the bottom of the mirror. What this will do is ensure that we have really good view of both the lines of the bay that we end up reversing into. Okay, so shortly I'm going to move forward and lock on to the right, and then what I'm waiting for is line number 2 to appear in my left mirror. It'll just be in the left corner of the side mirror. Okay, so before you move off, check your center right mirror and your right blind spot. If there's a few cars around, consider indicating left to tell people you're going to reverse and into the bay on the left hand side. Okay, handbrake off, lock to the right as soon as I'm moving. Okay, and check your right blind spot one more time. Okay, right, so there's line number 1. So it's not line number 1 I'm looking for. I'm looking for line number 2 very shortly. Okay, right, should be coming up. Okay, there's line number 2. Now I'm just going to keep going till the gap is a little bit smaller between the line and the car, about there. Right, lock off and stop there. Okay, so you can see there the gap between the line and the car is quite small, but there is a bit of a gap. If I'd have carried on, the line would have looked more like this. Okay, now if it goes to about there, and then I locked off and stopped, if I locked on now, I would be over that line. So I need a gap between the line and the car. But if I'd have locked off any earlier, this is how it looks. The gap, which I had wanted it about there, that's where I stopped previously. If I'd go back till the gap's about there, so I can still see the line, but the gap's there and locked off. If I locked on now to the left, I would be too close to the line on the right hand side of me, because that gap between the line and the car is too big. Right, so to reiterate, this is where it needs to look. Keep going, and it's about there. So it's a small gap, okay, but there is a gap. Right, at that point, pop it into reverse. Check of your left and right blind spot again. Right, as soon as I move, I'm going to lock it immediately to the left. Okay, right, looks a bit close. Can you see there? So I'll take my lock off just briefly and then throw my lock back on just there. Okay, just trying to keep that same gap, that little bit of gap between my car and curb. You see how the line's a fraction close. So I can take a little bit of turn off again, let it go a bit further, then put my lock back onto the left there. Now that's created a nice bit of space between the line and the car. Wait till it looks parallel, which is there. Take my lock off. Okay, and then I can stop. All right, so what you can see there, you can see the line on the left hand side, you can see the side of the car, and you can see a nice gap between the line and the car. All we do now, quick check of your left and right blind spot, back up again, nice and slowly. So the line is getting a bit closer to the bottom of the mirror. This is the line at the back of the car now. Okay, keeping it going. Okay, now if I stop it around about there, this is where you don't really want the line any further back than that. If you carried on and the line disappeared out of shot, the problem then would be you would be hanging over that line at the back, which remember is into the bay. This is behind you, which obviously potentially could impact another car trying to come into the bay that's behind you. Okay, so now I've finished the maneuver. This is how it should look in both side mirrors. So you can see there the left, you can see the left side line, you can see my car, and you can also see the line at the back, just near the bottom of the mirror, but still visible. Then if I transfer it over to the right mirror, this is how it looks. So again, similar distance between the line and the car. And again, what I can see is a little bit of the line at the back, just near the bottom of the mirror, but I can still see the line, which means I'm not over that line. Okay, then from the outside of the car, this is how it looks. I'm just going to give you a quick 360. See there, still a nice healthy bit of gap at the back, so I've still got a little bit of space if I wanted to go back. Compare it from the back, you can see there distance between the car and the line. Car and the line then on this side, showing the space at the back as well. Okay, looks relatively straight. And then just walk round to the front of the car so you can see it again. This is how it looks. Then the final shot, we'll do it from the front. Okay, another couple of little tips about how to judge how far back to go. If you look at the line on the right hand side, which is here, so that's the line obviously of the other bay. If I draw a line across, looks like it's just underneath, so I'm using my finger there, just underneath my side mirror, okay? So if I get it just underneath my side mirror, that's a good little tip. Then if I transfer the camera to this view here, this is where you can see just the line that's behind me at the back, and you can see I can still see it just around about, what is it, around about a quarter back from where I am compared to how far back the back window goes. So I can just about see that line there. Okay, and that's how we can judge it from sat in the car. If I turn it sideways as well, this is my shot of the car next to me. See that car there, the white car could go a little bit further forward and it's quite close to the back. So I know now if I'm sort of level around about where that side mirror is, or the sort of the left bit of their wheel, I know now I look about central back from where the bay starts there till the bay ends there. So if you feel like you sat somewhere in the middle as the driver, that's a good way to know if you are sort of far enough back but not too far forward that you're stuck out. Okay, now looking at this angle, this shows that I'm angled towards the left hand line. If I transfer the shot over to the right mirror, you can see that I'm clearly angled away from the right hand line. So I need to turn essentially closer if you look to the right hand line. So because I need to go closer to that right hand line, what do I need to do? I need to turn right towards it. Okay, so if I turn right towards the line now, as I'm reversing, what you can see is that line starting to become more parallel. So that's how it looks now in my right hand mirror. A little bit more, keep going, about, let's have a look, a bit more back, about there. So you can see that now. Okay, right, now to adjust the angle to turn, I have to turn away from that line that I'm facing towards. So if I turn right, which is turning away from that line, you see how it's starting to come round parallel again. So leave it on, leave it on, leave it on, keep going until about there. Okay, so you can see back parallel again, and then I can just back up again. All right, hope that makes sense. Okay, now if you ever find yourself in this position, which is really close to one line, so this one, the example, is I'm really close to the right hand line. If I transfer and look at my other mirror, there you can see there's quite a big distance between the left mirror and the car. So what you want to do in this position is take the car forwards to realign. So you're going to go forwards, and because I'm really close to the right hand line, I'm going to turn left. Okay, so a left turn. Not loads turn, not lock or anything, just round about half turn, turning the wheel upside down, just until you feel you've gone further away from that line, maybe about there. Looking in the left mirror, I've gone, yeah, a little bit closer over there. Right, now I'm going to turn, still going forwards, I'm going to turn right. So half turn the other way, bit of symmetry on my steering. Keep it going, keep it going. You see how it's bringing it more back in line, about there. Then I'll straighten up my wheel there. Looking at my left mirror, looks, yep, similar distance there again. Back to my right hand mirror, pop it in reverse, and then I can just take it back. All the way again, here we go, back, back, back. And about there. So there it looks now. See, I've got an equal distance now between my car and the right hand line, and then looks equal distance to the car on the left again.